Hey girl, you trying to hit this?
Ugh, you know exactly what I need.
What's up, everybody? What's up, you fucking stoner sluts?
Welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Blunt. I'm your co-host, Emily.
I'm your co-host, Jaime. I've had an emotional week. I had a lot of trauma, so, my brain might not be working properly.
This is the third time we've tried to record this podcast.
There's been a lot of stuff happening. It's really tough when you just show your boobs on the internet for a living. So last week we talked about mental health. You're gonna see the effects of that. This week,
we're gonna, find some weed terms.
Yeah, this episode's really for anyone who doesn't want to feel like a fucking noob when it comes to smoking. Even if you are a consistent smoker, hopefully that we might be able to enlighten you with some of the information we give you. But if you are a ultimate stoner slut, as Emily and I are,
like us,
or whores for weed, then maybe you might hate this episode and call it common sense. Either way, I think our voices are amazing and you should continue listening.
I don't think a lot of people have common sense, so listen anyways. Stupid bitch.
Okay, so we had an event last weekend. Well, we had an event and something happened at said event.
There was an event at the event. Okay, so we get to the event. It's your friend Dave Pagiano.
We love Dave.
We do love Dave. And then there's this guy standing around everybody.
We walk in like a half hour early. And so there was just the people who were going to be working the event.
Mm-hmm.
And
like you.
I literally look at you, Emily, and I'm like, yo, that guy will not stop staring at me.
He kept coming around to us and talking to you.
Yeah, but at first he was just staring at me. And I was like, Dave, who's this guy? Is that the comedian? He will not, he didn't look anywhere else, but directly at me.
Yeah.
It was kind of freaky, so I pointed it out to most people, then he started coming over, and I'm like, oh great, here it starts.
Turns out he went to my high school. 20 years apart.
More than that. He was old.
But he's an Elvis impersonator.
He's an Elvis impersonator. They hired a fucking Elvis impersonator. That's where you go wrong. Dave, listen up. Never again.
Yeah. And you could tell by the poof on his head. That was so obviously spray painted black and filled in
and you, what did you say to him?
I was like, oh, nice hairnet.
What's a hairnet?
Lunch ladies? That's what it looked like.
You didn't even say wig or a hairnet was on top of his. Emily, you mean evil person. He had done his hair so hard, so much hairspray. It was so high. It looked like Elvis's hair, but it looked like shit.
I feel like if Elvis was around now, I would tell him that his hair looks like shit.
It would it looks like DJ Pauly D.
Oh, I love DJ Pauly D.
My friend fucked DJ Pauly D and said that when she had sex with him, she put her hand on his head I went to grab his hair, but it was hard as a rock.
It's
from
literally
all the
like
gel.
a helmet.
It was a helmet.
I've watched Jersey Shore so many times, and the Wade. I love him and Vinny. I love them, and I love his hair.
Yeah. Well, she said the sex sucked. So, yeah, very disappointing because he probably gets it all the time. But either way, Elvis had the same hair.
Ugly. Wait. Yeah. Ugly.
You just said you loved it. You're so fake, Emily.
So we're just, chilling, minding our business.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps coming around to us.
What is the stare called? Did we look that up?
Oh, we never looked it
up. The Kruger stare, right?
Are you sure? Like Freddy Krueger?
Well, because he's a psychopath, right?
I think so, but it's oh shit. It's like when you look down from your eyebrows, but creepy.
Hold on.
Like a serial killer. And then he smiled, but it was so weird. And oh my god, I forgot to talk about his eyebrows. They literally looked like 12-year-old me had shaved off her eyebrows, which she had. And then they came in very thin and arched. It was unfortunate.
So, yeah, so basically, not only was he just staring, not only was he just looking at me the whole time when I mentioned it, he was looking at me like this, okay? So I'm gonna show the video, but I'll describe it for the podcast. Staring.
The blank stage before me, open up the dirty windows.
Please don't kill me, you are a serial killer. Elvis, we hate your fucking stupid bitch. Oh my god, we've tried to record this podcast so many times. Yeah. Okay, so Elvis, he would look down, right? And then he would stare kind of through his eyebrows. And that's supposed to be like the psychopath stare.
Yeah, he was serving psychopath.
So he'd just stare at you for like 5 minutes. And I was like, well, that's a little weird.
Even while he was performing, though.
Yeah, so then not only was he staring at me, I was his first victim. We noticed a pattern. And I feel like that's what serial killers have. They have a pattern. So now he's dancing and he's like, what's the song?
He sang like a medley of Elvis songs.
What's the, I don't know what he said. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Is that Elvis?
Yeah, that's Elvis. And he's going around like bumping fists with the same girl.
The same girl. He picked another victim. I like literally ignored this man so much. And he kept looking at this other girl in the audience and like going up to her and getting like literally a foot away from her and being like,
or he would like get down.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
On her level.
Yeah, he would like kneel down and it was really weird.
It was really weird. So I noticed this and
Emily's hammered, by the way. Emily had 2 shots and was fucked up.
Sorry, Dad.
And this event basically just started. We're 5 minutes in.
Yeah. I brought drinks and somebody bought me drinks.
Yeah, it was a fast up.
But I noticed that he was watching this girl, and I was watching him watch this girl.
And I was already telling you, I was like, he's a psychopath. I feel like he's a serial killer. Like, the way that he's looking at me, the way that he's acting, his body language, I'm like, yo, there's something off about this man. And then when we saw him doing it with another girl,
yeah,
we were like,
oh shit.
This confirms it. So Emily's hammered, and let's paint the picture. There's an audience facing the stage
area.
We're on the stage.
Yeah.
Okay? So she's looking at the girl at the front row while we're on the stage, basically, while he's performing literally like next to us level. And Emily's just going,
I'm just doing like...
And she thinks she's just talking to that girl.
Well...
She's talking to the entire American Legion. Like the 50 people in there.
I was looking straight at her. Nobody else should have intercepted those signals.
They definitely saw. And she's like, he's gonna kill you.
I was like, be careful, girl. We end up like going to the bathroom with her during intermission.
And she was like, thank you.
And talking about it. So like, you gotta look out for girls. Yeah. I feel like not a lot of women will look out for other women.
No. And the fact that she agreed and she was like, yo, he's giving me scary vibes. It's like if one girl gets that gut feeling and then we're kind of warning them and the other person's like, yo, I got that same gut feeling. Chances are he's a serial killer.
So validating.
Yeah. He was definitely a serial killer.
He was totally a murderer.
But girl code, like, had we not told her, like, some people are not as open to their gut.
Yes.
Like, to knowing what their gut is, trusting their gut, realizing when they're in a bad situation. And so it is the job of other women around you, if you feel that way and you feel uncomfortable, warn the people around you, warn like other girls.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
And men too. If you see something, speak up. Even if you're wrong, why would you not want to?
And the fucked up part is, I did tell the guys, I was like, yo, I feel like he's a serial killer. They're like, he's just a weird guy. I feel like he's just sad in his life. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm getting murder vibes. I'm not saying that out of my asshole. I'm not pulling that out of my asshole. I'm saying that.
We don't say that about just anyone.
No, I'm saying that because I'm genuinely concerned for any woman's safety in this bar. With him just existing. He didn't,
he didn't do anything, I guess.
Just exist, but it was a weird existence that made me...
I did not like it.
No.
And then I feel like we kind of got like screwed over, like looking out for people, and then nobody looked out for us later.
Yeah.
Like all the girls kept leaving us while we were outside. It's so dark out, and then...
And you're drunk, and so like, remember that guy like carried my calendars outside with you? And then
helped me carry out like all of your bags.
And then left you outside, and I thought I was talking to Dave and saying goodbye, and I was like, oh, Emily's fine, like she's with those people, and I walk out and you're by yourself in the middle of the parking lot, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
Such assholes. Such assholes.
Yeah. So I can't rely on men.
Ugh.
Because they don't have the same, like...
gut feeling or...
They don't get scared in those situations. They're like, well, I'm just waiting outside in a parking lot. For them, that seems normal and they wouldn't have anything to worry about. For us, we're literally like, are we going to survive the next 10 minutes?
What if I die?
I literally just watched a TikTok this morning and a girl was like, if you're doing those Instagram days where you go to like a parking lot at a mall or something at 8 a.m. to take pictures all day, please don't go alone. And she went alone, and this guy came up to her, and she was the only one in the parking lot, and he was like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, I'm good, like, thanks. And then he wouldn't stop talking to her. She ends up getting like a really weird vibe and starts running, to her car, and he runs after her. And she sat in her car. She's like, I'm afraid to leave my car. I'm afraid to get out. Like, he chased me to my car. And she was by herself just doing an Instagram day. Like, men don't fucking have to fear that shit.
Woo! That's fucking scary.
Yeah.
I've been followed by men.
Listen to your gut when it tells you that there's a fucking serial killer Elvis. Listen to your gut. Because men are blind and stupid. Okay, well, that was our story. It was an interesting, we just felt like the need to tell you guys that and let you know to look after each other. And men, when women tell you they're scared, please listen to them. Don't be like, oh, he's just a weird guy. Yeah, there's a lot of weird guys who then just shut up schools. So,
listen. Should we get into it?
all right, so we're gonna get into a stoner guide for noobs, like a guide to weed culture and slang.
Everyday life.
So you don't feel like a little bitch in your smoke sesh. Okay.
Should we just start from the top?
Let's start from the top. Let's lay it up.
Okay, so like ways to smoke, types of things to smoke, and then types of weed. Very all-encompassing, you know?
Yeah. Marijuana.
Cannabis.
So cannabis can be referred to as marijuana,
Mary Jane.
bud, pot,
Nugs.
ganja, ganj.
THC.
It has THC.
It does have THC. That's a really important part.
Yeah, the percentage of the THC is going to tell you how that high is going to be. So it also, weed, cannabis, Mary Jane, marijuana can have CBD. And so CBD was sold in stores before weed was legal. And CBD is the cannabinoids that basically help you, the part of weed that allows you to relax. That helps with pain, right? That doesn't give you that actual physical high where you feel it. You just
Exactly.
it alleviates. Yeah, it alleviates.
It's a medicine.
It's a medicine.
It's the medicine version.
So some marijuana has high THC, some has high CBD. Like you could literally smoke a bud, like you could get a nug that's literally just, it looks like weed, but it's just CBD, and you won't get the actual high from it. So it's important to ask your bud tender at a dispensary what is the best, option for you, depending on what you're looking for. So a bud tender is what, Emily?
But it's literally just like a bartender, but a dispensary. So you can kind of go up to them, tell them like what's up with you, and they can sort of help you figure out, like if you go to a bar and you're like, I don't fucking like drinking, just give me the fruitiest shit you got. Yeah. And they whip together a cocktail. That's what bud tenders do.
I love the name bud tender.
Me too, it's really cute.
That's cute. So there's 3 types of weed, like 3 types of strains I get, or whatever, that you would ask for. So what are those 3 different options of weed that you can kind of get?
Indica, sativa, and hybrids.
Okay. What's
your
indica?
favorite?
Oh, my favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
I like hybrids. I think I'm a hybrid kind of bitch.
I could see that.
And honestly, the whole point of when I go to the bar, sometimes I like beer. Sometimes I want to be a bad bitch and just drink a fucking hard IPA, and then sometimes I'm a bougie bitch and I have an espresso martini. Okay, and then
there is no in between.
And then sometimes we like to get drunk and we take tequila shots. So it really depends. The same thing is with weed. I like indica to sleep. It knocks you on your ass. That's when you think about being glued to the couch.
Indica couch.
It's basically gives you that like physical sedating experience. You know what I mean? That body high. So where you like feel like you can't move. Mm-hmm. Whereas, so I want that before I go to bed. Sativa's great for
being awake, creative energy, feeling that like euphoric feeling from weed. If you want to do chores, sativa's great for that.
Yeah, it's very uplifting. So like my mom would always smoke, and I think it was a sativa she would smoke. She would clean. She'd be in the best mood. So for me, if I'm gonna paint like during the day, or I'm gonna dance, or I'm gonna make content, I'm gonna smoke sativa, or I'm gonna write comedy. I'm gonna smoke sativa because it's kind of like hit on that creative.
It's a head high
feeling that I need. It's a head high. Yeah.
And then hybrids.
It's a mix of the two.
It can be both. It can be more sativa dominant, which would have the euphoric, like high energy effect, or it could be more indica dominant, and you could feel more of the slump. Like when you think of like commercials against like the
Weed.
dare.
Yeah, oh my
If you're
god.
always slumped, they probably had indica
Mhm.
just to portray that.
And a
lazy
shitty
stoner.
indica that is, that makes you not be able to do
Mids.
anything. Mids. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so that's basically like the different parts of weed, types of weed, I guess, right?
Yeah. And then there are different strains within all of those three umbrellas. What's your favorite strain? Do you have one?
I loved Star Dog. I think that's more sativa. So I guess that gets us into the next topic. All right. So what are the other types of weed, or like what people would refer it to?
Like the actual thing?
Mm-hmm.
Nugs.
Bud.
Bud.
Like dried cannabis flower.
Or flower for sure.
Definitely flower for short.
Pot, ganja. I don't know, broccoli? Like that song? I loved that song.
What is that song? I don't remember it, but I know what you're talking about.
I don't know, but it was summer 2016.
That's a while ago.
That's all I can tell you.
Okay. What my favorite part of bud is keef. Keef's that good shit.
That's the good shit. That is, so there are 3 compartments to a grinder. The top one is where you put the weed in. The middle one is where you collect the ground weed. And the bottom one, which you always forget to open, is where the keef goes. And it's sifted through like a little strainer and it comes out the bottom. And it's very concentrated. I don't know how it works.
It literally looks like powder, like dust. And so basically it is trichomes that grow on the cannabis leaf that when you grind it, it falls off. It gets put through like the strainer, basically. And so it looks like literally dust, but it's the stuff that gets you really high. So if you're out of weed, you open the bottom of your grinder and you put that in. And even if you have less weed, if you have keef, you're getting fucking roasted.
Mm-hmm. An all keef bowl is crazy.
Oh, I love keef bowls and my like bowls or grinders. That fucking,
That was good shit.
Immediately it hits you and you're like, whoa.
Have you ever had moon rocks?
I don't, actually maybe once.
I love moon rocks.
What are moon rocks?
Moon rocks are a nug of weed, just regular flour, like rolled or dipped in oil, which you take dabs with, and then covered in keef.
Holy shit. Can we explain what dabs and oil are?
Oh, okay, so dabs are just pressed weed. You literally just compress it until it becomes an oil.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you do.
Yeah, and then you like literally light it with a torch, and the contraption that you use to smoke dabs with, it literally looks like it's like a crack pipe.
It's called a rig, and you like put it into like the little bowl, I guess, and you take like a glob because it looks like earwax.
Yeah, it does.
And like depending on what
Like
type,
honey,
because there's
earwax.
shatter.
That's where it's
more
dried.
broken up. Yeah, there's like the really like oil like sticky ones, but then there's also like crumbly ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on what consistency you like. I don't really I've never dabbed enough to know the difference between those.
Me either. We'll have to do an episode on that. But today, just know dabs.
Dabs.
You smoke a crack pipe.
Oh my god. First time I did dabs. Oh my god.
Dude, one of my plugs, every time I came and picked up weed, he'd be like, do you want to like hit this? And it would be dabs. And I'd be like, sure. And I would drive an hour from New Hampshire to Massachusetts to pick up. And I would hit his rig. And there were times where I sat in my car for an hour after because I could not drive. And I was literally like, I'm out of this world right now. I'm so high. Like, I'm like, whoa. It gets you rocked. Especially if you don't smoke a lot.
Dabs are crazy.
I wouldn't want to smoke dabs all the time though because my tolerance would be stupid.
I had an ex who did that. I don't know how he did it. God bless his lungs.
What is the shitty weed?
Mids. So we kind of hit on that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We've definitely got mids. Didn't we talk about our mid story?
Did we? When we bought a pound of shitty weed and it was so bad that we smoked like 8 blunts within like 2 hours and we were still like not high.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. So it was, mids are like the type of weed that you get in high school or middle school when you start smoking and people try to like sell you bud and it's like the shittiest low quality bud because you're like the youngest.
And you like, you break it off with like a brick.
Yeah.
It's just like a brick of weed and that's all like concentrated together, but it's not good. It's full of like stems and seeds and it tastes horrible.
What do people call like good weed?
Dank.
That's some dank.
Or gas.
That's some gas weed.
That's what plugs always say.
Dank also can refer to like the smell of it. Like it's very potent, it's strong. Like, loud. Yeah, if you say it's loud, that skunk is loud. That weed is like very smelly.
Smelly. And then everyone just says weed. Mm-hmm. It's just, everyone knows about weed.
What about measurements? Measurements, I think, that was the hardest part of me getting into weed.
It took me a while.
It took me a while to figure out like how much weed was what, how much it would cost, what the average prices are, so that I knew I was getting a good deal.
Yeah, so the first one, a dime, it's literally just a 10 bag. So it's a gram.
A gram. A dime, a 10 bag, a gram. Same thing.
If you're getting a gram for more than $10, you're being ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, in high school, people used to get it for like $20.
I will try to sell it to you for $20.
You can get a pre-roll, which is like a pre-roll joint from a dispensary, for $15. The same one as a gram. And typically it's like a gram and it's already done. So it's like that's from a dispensary. If you're paying that on the street, like you're definitely getting ripped off.
You know, the song like I Got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it.
That's because a blunt is $10, a gram is $10. So if you got 5 on it, you got half a blunt.
Okay.
You know.
I feel that.
What's a dub?
You wrote that. I've never bought one. It's 2 grams. Why would you buy 2 grams? You would either buy like a gram or you'd buy an eighth. Yeah. If you're buying under an eighth, like you have to be 12. Like what?
Yeah, you're a baby. So how much weed is in a eighth?
3.5 grams.
Okay, all right. So we started with 1, we're up to 3.5. You really don't do like in between.
35, $30 to $50 for an eighth.
Yeah.
On the street. It might be a little bit more in the dispensary, but if it's on the street and you're paying more than $35 for an eighth,
no,
it has to be really good bud.
Yeah, I fully agree. And the next is a quarter.
Mm-hmm. So that is 7 grams.
Yep, it's sometimes called a sev, which makes sense, 7 grams.
Yeah, just call it a quarter. But
I had a plug who was like, "What's a quarter?" He was like, "What's a half?" I'm like,
okay, some plugs are literally dumb.
I had to work out the grams for him, I didn't know weed math at the time.
Then, like, if you double, so this is not like double an eighth. You double it, you get a quarter. You double the quarter, you get a half.
14 grams.
14 grams. So we went from 3.5 to 7 to 14. Do you see how we're just compounding it?
Ooh, look at us doing math.
Mm-hmm.
Next is a zip or
a half is a half ounce, by the way.
Yes. And then a full ounce
is 28 grams.
28 grams.
So 14 plus 14.
Mm-hmm. It all makes sense. It
all makes sense once you know math. I actually think I'm better at weed math now than like actual math.
Me too, 100%. And then you can get like 2 zips or like 3 zips or however many you want, but I feel like the next...
Wait, what's a zip? You didn't explain what the zip is.
Oh, a zip is an ounce.
An ounce.
Yeah.
So if you're asking like a plug, like, oh, can I get a zip? Or he's like, oh, zips are this, and you don't know what a zip is, that means an ounce, 28 grams.
Yeah.
So like it'll also be like if they type out OZ, which I mean I feel like people should know that it's an ounce, but some people don't. So
some people see no common sense.
Yeah, 28 grams.
So you could buy 2 zips, ounces. You could buy 3, but I feel like the next common measurement is a quarter pound,
which is 4 ounces.
That's a lot.
So that's 28 plus 28 is 56 times 2, which is what, 112. Look at weed.
My brain hurts.
Yeah, 112 grams. Am I right on that?
Girl,
I feel like we should check. 28 times 4.
Oh,
hey! I did well in high school.
Wow.
Yeah. But there, I guess, so there's a quarter pound. Mm-hmm. Emily and I typically buy quarter pounds together.
You could buy a half pound or a full pound.
Yeah. Also, when you're buying weed that, like, as you go up in the amount of weed that you're actually getting a discount. So I could buy an ounce you could buy an ounce of good weed for like $2.25, right? But if I buy a quarter pound instead of 1 ounce, that 1 ounce price will now probably go down to like $1.85 or something. So if we buy in bulk, we get it cheaper. And so
it's like Costco.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes sense.
It makes sense. And it depends on how much you smoke. You're not going to buy a quarter pound of weed if you go through an ounce in a month or 2 months, which is what I went through when I first started. Now, I go through a quarter pound. My bank
We're
account
not
hates
joking.
me.
We're serious.
Listen, when you sell your titties on the internet for money, then you can judge.
Then you can talk to me. You don't know me. You don't know my story.
You don't know what I've been through. I need to smoke to get through that shit.
Alright, what's your favorite way to smoke?
I love oral fixation. Okay, literally okay.
Literally.
Speaking of oral fixation, I'm so used to smoking with Emily and passing her the blunt that I took a sip of my Bang Energy. It was like 10 minutes after we smoked. So I took a sip and then I just go like this.
I was like, no thank you.
And I handed her the Bang Energy and she was no thank you. And I was like, you don't want to hit this? And I looked and I wasn't holding a blunt.
And this isn't the first time this has happened. She had a dude over and literally went to go get him a beer, but passed it to me.
Because I'm so used to passing you.
And that was only like 3 months after we met.
And then Victoria was like, she's so nice, we're thinking of you. And I was like, no, I'm just dumb. Like,
We're just high.
we're just high. We're stoners. I love blunts. So blunts are basically like a tobacco leaf. And there's different types you can buy. You can buy backwoods. You can buy swishers. Games. Dutches. Fontos. Old man. These are different blunt wraps. So it's tobacco. So like if you don't smoke cigarettes and you smoke blunts, you're still getting that nicotine.
Yep.
I never really smoked nicotine until I met Emily.
She's lying.
I used to roll games.
I used to roll. She told me.
I used to roll games, but not that much. Okay, actually, but I would smoke like one a day or like one every couple of days. We were smoking like 5 a day. That's a lot of nicotine.
I also didn't used to do that. I used to, yeah.
We were bad for
roll
each
one a day
other.
for myself.
That's it.
That's all I smoked.
I used to just take hits out of a bowl. So, I mean, next to a blunt is a joint, and so a joint is no tobacco leaf. It's just paper, like a zigzag or a raw. Those are different types of paper.
Get
so
the
some
black raws, they're the best.
The
ones.
black raws are the best, the king ones.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're smoking a J, there's no tobacco, so you would literally just be like, yo, do you got papers? That means you're gonna roll a J.
And pre-rolls from dispensaries are always J's. Always.
And sometimes pre-rolls from dispensaries have like keef on them. They're wrapped in things. They can be like a little special treat.
I used to roll oil around my blunts like a little snake.
You dirty little.
Yeah, that's fucking good. That's fucking good. And then, okay, so there's an even like, once you smoke all the way down and you can't hold on to it any longer, what's that called?
A roach.
A roach.
A roach is the bottom of like a J or a blunt.
And it's kind of like caramelized at the
Like
end.
resin. So like you know when you smoke it from a bowl, that black shit gets stuck at the bottom of the bowl. Honestly, sometimes smoking that can get you more high.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it would be.
And then with zombies, what you can do is break apart all of those roaches and then make a new blunt or a new J with them.
With just the end of the roaches, so it's kind of like the end of it. That's called a zombie blunt or a zombie joint.
Yeah, I don't know like why it gets you so fried, but it really does.
It really does.
It really does.
So basically you would smoke a zombie. What happens is you buy an ounce of weed, let's say. You smoke all your weed, but if you save your roaches and you're out of weed, you're like...
smart.
If you're smart, and you're like, fuck, I ran out of weed, but then you look and you see like 7 roaches sitting in your ashtray. You just put those together, you got one final one, and you're roasted.
Yep. And you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
What I used to do with roaches when I was in college was a nader. So it was like a plastic water bottle that you like burned 2
Oh my
holes
God.
into, and you would stick the roach into one of the holes and use the other hole as a carb and press down as you lit, and then you would. It's like a homemade bomb kind of.
Yeah. That's what people would do before you could like go to a smoke shop and buy bowls. It was much harder to get that kind of stuff. Unless you went to like a sex store and you weren't allowed in those unless you were 18. So like it was kind of hard as a middle schooler to try to find like a bowl or a bong unless you had an older friend. So you would get creative as a stoner, a young stoner, and you would find things around your house to make.
Neither of us were young stoners.
No, I didn't start smoking until I was like 21.
I was 18.
But I knew people who did that.
Yeah. People can do it out of like soda cans and
People can do
aluminum
hard
foil.
things.
Stoners are engineers, and I stand by that statement.
Yes.
If we don't
Stoners
have
are
anything
smart.
to smoke with, we will figure a way out.
Yes. If you ever get stranded on an island and you're with a stoner, they're gonna figure some shit out. Because they've been high as fuck before, and they're like, yo, we gotta figure this shit out.
We've got to go so I can get weed again.
Yeah, how are we gonna do this? There's also bubblers.
And bongs.
Bongs.
Bowls.
A bong is like the long one, and you like take it. It goes. Yeah.
Tip: if you put ice in your bong,
Mm-hmm.
it will hit better. Also, clean your bong water. You fucking dirty.
Yes. You fucking dirty what? You fucking dirty whore.
Just dirty. That's period.
You're dirty. Yeah,
Your bong is.
That reminds me that I should clean my bong.
Yeah.
Constantly clean your glass if you use glass.
I think you're
or
supposed to
bowls.
clean your bong water every day because it can mold really fast.
And then you're breathing
never
it in.
used to do that.
No. My bong water's been in there for like 6 months. I'm gonna clean that today.
We talked about rigs already.
Yep, so that's for dabs.
That's also glass.
Crack pipes.
I think you can.
I literally have that long glass pipe that I would light at the end with a torch. And then the bottom of the pipe literally looks brown from the like resin of the weed.
I think it's called the nectar collector.
Yeah, and then
I ran over mine.
yeah, you did. It fell out of your car. But it literally looks like I'm smoking crack. People have come over and been like, "What is that?" I'm like, crack pipe, and they believe me. That's how
it's just for oil. It's just for oil.
Okay, so what else? Edibles. There's a way edibles.
Oh, edibles. I love edibles.
There's like actual food edibles, and then there's liquid edibles. So it's just like infused. It's something you can ingest, right? Whether it's a drink or a type of food that is infused with THC, the part that actually gets you high.
And they get you so much more high.
Yes, it's a different high. And it's certain edibles, you're not even just high anymore. You're literally like tripping.
Yeah, balls.
I got this edible from the dispensary. It was a 100 milligram drink. Now I typically take 25 to 50 milligram chocolates, and that like is fine. Well, I took 50, so I was like, I'll take 50 milligrams of this drink, which is literally like 2 sips of a drink, like a shot, like a glass. Is how much it's
fucked up.
I was in bed for 6 hours. I was up till 9 in the morning. Way longer than 6 hours, actually. I was up till 9 in the morning, like tripping balls, thinking I'm seeing shit and ghosts and weird shit in my room and like things coming out of my mirrors. And I felt things like crawling on me. I was like, yo, I am out of my tree right now. And I am unwell.
Didn't we learn last episode that if you take like cracked pepper, that can dull it, or like lemon or something?
Something like that. I don't even remember what we talked about last episode because I was high.
There goes our girl high.
Yeah, so, yeah, short-term memory loss.
I feel like those are all the ways, mainly to consume weed.
I guess, and then we can get into like weed culture now.
Okay. Would you consider yourself a stoner?
But what's a stoner?
Stoner is somebody who likes smoking weed.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. What's a pothead?
Same thing.
Somebody that thinks all the world's problems and all their problems can be solved by smoking weed. Which I agree.
I would be inclined to agree. Yeah.
I'm medicated. I'm not high, I'm medicated.
I am on my medication currently.
Honestly, that's what I don't understand. I actually had bipolar medication, and it was like a sedative type of medication, and I was prescribed to take it in the morning. And so I had just got a medication for the first time in my entire life at a sales job, and I'm very high energy, like almost like you think I was manic all the time. I'm on this medication, and my boss called me into his office, and he's like, "Are you on drugs?" Like he straight up was like, "Yo, you need to go home. Like you're not, like you're slurring your words, like you're like tired." I didn't even know I was that fucked up. And then, but I was prescribed that. And I was like, well, he's like, you're going to have to talk to your doctor about changing it. I was like, had I just, smoked it, took a hit, I wouldn't be that fucked up. And it's somehow less legal. I don't understand.
All right, when you smoke, do you feel like you get munchies? And what are munchies?
It depends on what I smoke. I think the type of weed. I'm not a typical person to get munchies. Munchies is when you get high and you are craving food. So like I don't know, like when you're on your period and you crave chocolate. Okay, yep. So anytime you get high, it's like that. It's like you just need it. I need it.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. So certain types of, specifically too, if you're somebody who doesn't get hungry a lot and you need to eat more, people do prescribe weed that gives you munchies specifically so that you can increase your intake of calories that day.
Yep.
So, and then some doesn't have any effect on that at all. So it really depends on what you smoke. Again, ask your bud tender.
Talk to your local bud tender.
Okay, so what do you say when you're high? Like, how do you refer to being high?
I'm zooted.
I'm baked.
Fuck.
I'm blazed.
I am blitzed.
I'm fried.
I'm high as fuck.
I'm cooked.
Wait, did you already say I'm baked?
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm ripped.
Fuck, you're winning.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I feel like that's about it.
So all those random words, blazed, blitzed, cooked, fried, high as fuck, stoned.
Oh, stoned. Good one.
I feel like people in high school used to call it cheese. Like, I'm cheesed right now. Like,
interesting.
just like a weird word that means you're high.
Okay. Everyone has their own lingo for it, you know?
Yeah, I think I had somebody in my high school, they called him Cheeto Muncher or something like that. And I don't know if it was really about Cheetos or if it was about smoking weed. He was definitely a stoner.
Maybe it's about both.
Yeah.
Alright, so another common thing that happens when you smoke, people get cotton mouth.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. What is that?
Cotton mouth is literally when your mouth gets dry, so you're like... because there's no saliva. And you're like, it's so dry and you just feel like you need to drink. Like, right now I feel like I have it and I haven't even smoked. Oh, we did smoke earlier.
Yeah, we did. I feel like water doesn't help with cotton mouth.
No. You need like a Starburst.
Chewing gum does, yeah. So I actually found this company on TikTok called Flintsmans.
Ooh.
And they invented like a vegan, super like safe, non-GMO, natural way of getting rid of cottonmouth. And it's just mints and it's all different flavors. I got us like 6 different types.
Really?
Yeah, so we'll see.
I'm so
what we like.
excited.
I'm pumped. It's supposed to activate like your salivatory.
Damon Salvatore glands.
Your glands, and I'm pumped.
I'm excited. We'll review that on our next podcast.
We'll let you know if it's a hit or a miss.
Pun intended.
If you know, you know.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so what do you say when you come up to a smoke session,
Mm-hmm.
and you're rolling, and so there are other people with you?
Yeah.
If I was going to smoke with you, what would you say to me?
Like, have I already rolled?
No.
Okay, you want to match?
Yeah. What does that mean? Yeah, I'd like to match.
Yeah. Are you
Does
trying
that mean
to go 50-50 on
Are we battling? Are we fighting? You gonna have a match?
Yeah, we're literally beating each other. I poo. No, matching is like, you give some weed, I give some weed, we smoke.
And by match, it means the same.
Same amount.
Not like
Yes.
I'm providing 3/4 of the blunt, and you are... Oh,
Here's a little nug.
here's my little weed.
Here's a roach you can use.
Literally.
Oh, some people are really like that. No, matching is equal. It's
Mm-hmm.
sharing is caring. You know.
Yes.
Now what's a session?
When you smoke. A smoke session.
I feel like session is like special, like it's like a sesh, you know, like everybody it's like in a circle, it's like calm, it's chill. Like that 70s show.
Yes.
Like that was a
that's
hardcore
sesh.
sesh. It was a hardcore sesh. Every damn episode.
All right. What is the rule of thumb? We've definitely talked about this in our weed etiquette, our
So
first
go back
episode.
to the first episode.
It is.
Puff, puff, pass.
Yes. So what does that mean?
That means you take one hit, you take another hit, and then you pass it along to your friend.
You pass it. You greedy little bitches. 2 is enough.
You know who you are.
Honestly, I feel like they don't. People are like, what? That's the rules? I smoke like that?
Or maybe they're just high. I don't know. You gotta be like...
You gotta be
Self-aware
conscious
at
and
some
self-aware
point.
when you're high. The worst stoners, and we talk about this in weed etiquette, are just people who just like get so high that they don't know what they're doing. Then don't fucking join or say, hey, I'm done after those 2 hits.
Yeah. That's okay. It's fine to tap out. It's fine to be a bitch.
How am I feeling right now?
High?
No.
Good.
The end of the high.
Burnt out.
Yes.
Feeling burnt out.
My brain is actually working a little bit better than last night when we tried to record, or 2 nights ago when we tried to record things.
That was rough. Both of us were, neither of us were high, but we were both burnt out.
Yeah, and our brains were just not working. So burnt out is like when you're coming down from the high and you're just like dead, like you're dull, you're sluggish, your brain's not as fast. It's almost like a hangover, like a weed hangover. At the end of it, and you gotta smoke to feel normal again.
I was gonna say much like a drinking hangover if you
Hair of the
drink again.
dog.
Yeah. Not that we're
You'll smoke
that,
you'll
but-
smoke again, not even to feel high, but to feel normal. Like there's times where I'm tired and like literally burnt out from the weekend or whatever it is, or from smoking a lot. I remember one time I went to a party and I was literally crashing, and I walk in and they were like, "You want to hit this bong?" And I was like, "Thank the fucking Lord, I do." And so I hit the bong, and all of a sudden I was a person again. I wasn't high. I was literally normal. Like I could just have a regular conversation.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, now let's talk about greening out. Because greening out is, I feel like, almost as bad as burning out. Both feel shitty, but greening out is very different, where you smoke too much and you can't handle it.
Oh no.
Have you ever felt that?
Only on edibles. Not smoking.
I once took like a bong hit.
Oh, grab bong, never mind.
No, not even a grab bong, just regular bong. And I literally had to stay curled in a ball for 3 hours.
What?
Yeah. That's why I didn't smoke glass.
We're gonna fix that. So it's trauma?
It's trauma.
Oh.
I literally, like, they were aliens coming for me. And then I couldn't move because my head was the universe. I don't know.
That's like the first time when I
There's a
smoked
lot.
weed and I saw a demon.
Yeah,
Started
there's a
seeing
lot.
shit. Hallucinating, spiritual, you never know.
But it can also just be, like, you're just feeling dizzy, like lightheaded, your eyes are spinning. When I first started smoking, I kept being like, why are we moving? And my friends were like, we're sitting in a still car. I was like, everything is moving right now.
The thing I noticed the most when I started getting high was just like the energy. Like if I put my hand here, I would literally be able to feel your energy come from your hand, and I would know your hand was there.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah. Okay, so what does it mean when you're talking about being burned out? We talked about being too high. Fuck, I just had something in my head. I don't remember
What about when you stop smoking? What's that called?
A tea break.
We did that recently.
We didn't do a tea break. We stopped smoking 6 blunts a day and started smoking 1.
I took 2 weeks off.
Actually, maybe I did. I mean, like, I took like 2 weeks off of smoking and then maybe smoked like twice in that. So that for me is a huge tea break.
I'm doing great.
A tolerance break is what it stands for.
And it's when you build up your tolerance so much by smoking so much that you're no longer getting high half the same amount. You have to keep re-upping, and that just gets to be too much. So you take a tea break, you come back in, 2 weeks, a month, however long you want it to be, and you get high off one hit.
That's best. I'm still not there even though
It's
I
like
took
being a
tolerance
virgin.
break.
A
Yeah.
born-again virgin.
You pop your cherry every time.
I love it.
Okay, what is it called? You mentioned being in a car.
Yeah.
When you smoke in a car with your friends and the windows are up.
Hotboxing.
Mm-hmm. So it's literally when like the whole car is filled with all the smoke the entire session of you smoking weed. So what is that also known as?
Fish bowling.
Fish bowling,
Clam bake.
clam baking.
Okay, no, hear me out.
Why are these all about fish and sea things?
I don't know. I like the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but hear me out. Hotboxing is at night. Fish bowling is during the day. Prove me wrong.
I literally agree. When I think of hotboxing, I literally think of like steamed windows and the
Yep.
smoke, and it's nighttime and like you're in a parking lot and like
Yep.
maybe cops come up. But a fish bowl is like a bright, like you can see everything.
See?
Oh, Lola! Hi, Lola. Cat exists. Aww.
She's so cute. She just literally went, "Mm."
Lola, did anyone tell you you're a pretty girl?
Oh.
Are you a pretty girl? If you're gonna tell them everything, tell them I'm a good kisser. Tell them all the things you told me in your desperate whisper. If you're gonna tell them everything, don't leave out the good parts. Tell them the way that you broke my heart when you told me that you missed her. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna cut that.
Cut.
I love you. She's so cute.
I know, she's being a sweet girl right now. Alright, how do you say you want to smoke though? Like, so sessions are where you hang out with people and smoke. How do you invite someone to a session? Would you say? Okay, so you're like hanging out at a function, you're just like,
Yeah. So I just,
Wanna go?
I just literally put 2 fingers together like that A-OK sign. And you just look at someone, you go,
isn't that a white supremacist symbol? Am I thinking of something else?
I think it's a little...
No, but like, yeah, this is just smoking.
Because you hold a blunt or a J like this. So when you say like this,
But
it's
like, how do cigarette smokers do it?
they hold them like this.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Smoke like this.
Sometimes when I'm trying to be subtle, I smoke my blunt like this.
I do too, and then I feel fancy. I'm like,
I know, I'm like, ooh. It's because we grew up watching like Cruella de Vil and everyone's smoking in like 90s shows, and it was like, ooh. Plus, I love the smell of cigarette smoke.
what the fuck did you just say?
Yes, I still love it.
Oh no! I remember one time in high school, I made out with this boy who was much older than me, and he went in, and his breath while I kissed him just tasted like cigarettes and like cigarette smoke. I hate cigarette smoke because my mom always smoked, and I hated it. She would smoke in the car, she would smoke in the house, like windows shut.
I didn't grow up with that.
And I would go to school, and people would be like, "You smell like cigarettes. You smell like cigarettes." And I'm like, I can't help it.
It's not me.
My mom doesn't love me. Doesn't respect me. And I would try to roll down the window, and she would be like, "When you get your own fucking car, then you can fucking roll down the windows. I'm cold." And I'm like, I can't breathe. And she'd be like, "Fucking suck it up. It's my car." All right, back to not talking.
Regularly scheduled programming.
Not talking about my trauma. There's a reason I do stand up.
Oh my gosh, I think that's all the lingo we had.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, we say I want to spark up.
Oh no, we want to light up.
You want to light up? Want to spark up?
We got distracted.
You want to smoke?
I want to hit this.
Yeah, you want to hit this? You want to roll up?
Match.
Wake and bake?
All good ways to start a conversation.
Yeah.
Or just be like, "Do you want to fucking smoke weed?"
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yo, bitch, you trying to roll up and get high as fuck?
I think I had one of my old friends, the way we became friends was after my first day of work. I literally just set out to the world. I was like, maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. I was like, I just want to, go, And she was like, you? And I was like, you? And then we went and smoked a blunt afterward.
That's how you just know.
Yeah.
I remember when we became roommates, I literally just casually was like, "Hey, do you want to, like, drink some wine?" Because, like, that's what girls do, I guess. And then I'm like, or, like, we could roll one up. And you were like, yeah. And you were like, I don't drink wine, but yeah, I smoke weed, and I smoke blunts. And I was like, yo, this girl means business.
I was not fucking around.
You weren't
beginning
fucking
of quarantine. I was like...
But that's how I knew we were going to be friends. I was like, we're going to get along.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of our keywords, our weed lingo, our slang.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
intro to weed.
Yeah, if you write those down, you take some notes,
flashcards, study that shit.
Please don't do that.
Send us a video if you do, you fucking nerd.
Yeah. Honestly, it was so hard for me to learn all of that. It took years of me smoking. Did. I'm still like, as I smoke more weed and I try different things, that's when I start really understanding the lingo. So hopefully that helps most people, especially if you're not as much of a stoner as Emily and I are.
You're welcome. We took one for the team there.
We took one for the team. Yeah, all of this was for you.
The viewers.
Mm-hmm. All of those years of smoking weed and going high to public functions and experiencing anxiety and trying different types and spending money. We did that for you.
I just remembered.
So you better fucking leave us a review.
I once went to a work party having taken like not even half an edible. I was so fucked up. Everybody at management knew.
Oh yeah. It's a story to tell.
We should make butter.
We should make butter. With that shitty weed that we still have.
I know. Oh.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna go to some stony baloney.
Some nonsense.
Some nonsense.
I thought we were gonna try to ask each other like dating questions.
We are.
Should we still try to do that?
Yeah, you trying to date me?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh.
Let's go to the beach.
I know what your nipples look like.
Okay, I'm insecure about that, but it's fine.
Me too. When I went on that podcast, they were like, describe your nipples to me.
Mind your business.
And I go, well, they called me like the topless comedian because like that's how they knew me from the topless comedy show. And I literally didn't know what to say. And I was like, they're like a quarter, like a bigger than a quarter. And then my nipples are like twice that. I looked at like the picture after, I was like, my nipples are way bigger than a quarter. And I just didn't know what to say.
Areola and the nipple.
Oh, my nipple's tiny. It's like a little dot. But the areola is a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And then it changes. I don't know why we're talking about this.
There's nothing wrong with areolas. Every areola is beautiful, okay, girls?
Yeah. You have normal titties, even if they point to the floor.
Yeah. I'm on Reddit, and one of the questions asked Reddit from 13 hours ago is, people who have OnlyFans, what is stopping you from upgrading to an air conditioner?
We have central air.
Oh.
Why would I get
So I guess we did upgrade.
What kind of question is
I
that?
don't know.
Who doesn't have air conditioners?
Jamie, some people don't have air conditioners.
I forgot what it's like to be poor.
Literally, that gives the same energy as Luke Bass on The Circle being like, I wanted to fund an NSYNC tour. Using my winnings from the reality show. Oh, I'm on 2%. We gotta get these questions.
Okay. What has been your favorite weekend this year? Wrong.
Fuck. Oh, we're doing speed dating.
Yeah, you were just staring.
I zoned out. I feel like Christmas was good.
What did we do on Christmas? That's when
Yeah,
that's when I accidentally did ketamine.
That was not Christmas Day. I can't believe Harley just sunk her claws into my butt cheek. Harley! Harley!
Okay, what would people be most surprised to learn about you?
I'm a black belt. I feel like nobody ever guesses that.
But
Very
also,
understandably.
a black belt that.
Cannot make a fist. I cannot make a
Show
fist.
the world your fist.
This is as good as it gets.
Anytime Emily gets mad,
I call them my razor blades.
yeah, she gets like upset, and then I go, yeah, Emily. That's really mean.
Yeah,
I love
making
you.
fun of a birth deformity. Asshole.
I have one too.
Okay, I don't make fun of you.
I don't even know if I have one.
Stupid.
My knees go point inward.
Me too.
Okay.
Um,
What would you do? What would you do if you had 6 months left to live?
I would do a lot.
So
I go everywhere.
Why aren't you doing it now?
Because I don't have money. But I feel like if I were about to die, I would beg for money and then just go everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd be like, I just need 20K really quick from the bank, or just get a business loan, never pay it back because I'd be dead.
Aren't like your family responsible for your debts when you die? I think that's stupid, but
I don't know if that's true for every debt, but yeah, sometimes that happens. Okay, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars. I'd never watched Star Trek.
Okay, you're wrong for that.
I just wrote funny wars instead of funny questions.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
A Brachiosaurus.
Okay.
Little neck.
What would
Long neck.
long neck boy? What would your Patronus be?
What's that?
From Harry Potter?
My weakness?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about. Respective Patronus.
Okay, Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle?
I think I would do Squirtle.
I feel like I always went with Charmander.
I feel like everyone did, so I was like, I'm gonna be different. And then I just wasn't gonna do Bulbasaur because grass Pokemon suck.
Damn, I fucking love Pokemon.
Yeah.
The next two questions were dad questions.
Oh, my dad's dead. What's the weirdest smell you've ever smelled?
Probably a dead person.
What?
Yeah, I found a dead body.
And you smelled it?
I was breathing. Yeah. I don't know what you
You're
like
like,
do.
Is it alive? Nah.
Let me smell for a pulse. Oh, a pulse. A pulse.
Pulse? We're not okay. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes. Yes. Do you want to build a snowman?
No.
Oh,
I hate the snow.
okay.
What's invisible but you wish people could see?
My heart.
Dignity. My dignity.
What's your take on bacon?
I love bacon.
Okay. What's your favorite way to eat it?
In my mouth? I don't know. What? Like, how else is bacon?
Like wrapped around something? Or like
Oh, bacon
sprinkled
and
over
scallops
top?
are so good.
I love
okay.
Scallops. Soft or hard cookies?
Hard.
Okay, yeah, true.
I like them crunchy.
Me too.
Okay.
What do you think was in the formula in the Krabby Patty?
Crack.
I really firmly believe that it was crab meat.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that conspiracy theory. Did you ever see, like, other crabs? There were lobsters. I didn't see crabs.
You think they just killed the crabs?
Yeah, and he was a cannibal.
Oh, it's a Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. A Krabby Patty? Mr. Krabs?
Maybe that's why he was crazy, because when humans eat, cannibalize, you can develop prion diseases, which literally, like, eat your brain away and make you crazy.
Well, remind me to never eat you.
Please don't.
What's the silliest fear you have?
Sharks.
Really?
Sharks. Coming in my bathtub. Or being in the pool.
No, the pool is definitely. I always used to think sharks were in my pool.
I know.
I literally, anytime I lay on my back, I don't know what it is, but I literally just picture just somebody stabbing my tit with a knife.
You told me that right through the nipple. What if I just start waking you up with a pencil, like directly on your nipple? Like, hi, Jaime.
Since I was a kid and developed boobs. I was gonna say breasts. And I think the word breast is so weird and like creepy. I literally would think that somebody would just come up in my sleep and just stab me right in a tit. And I don't know why. I would rather get stabbed in the chest. I'd rather get stabbed in the side, not the tit.
Anything but the tit.
Yeah, I don't know why. Oh God, it's making me freak out. I can feel
I
it.
actually had nipple piercing, so I'm feeling that.
I don't mind that because it's sideways. I'm talking straight down through the tit.
Your noises.
Okay, fine.
They're scaring me. Do you have any STDs?
Currently, no. I've had chlamydia twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
That's how I found out my ex-boyfriend was cheating.
treatable though.
I found out someone was cheating on me because I went and got tested after we broke up,
Oh.
and I had chlamydia, and I was tested before we dated, and
That's
then I was tested in the beginning of us dating, so I know he didn't have it,
sad.
and then all of a sudden, I did,
Damn.
and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I get tested every year, even though I've been with the same person for.
Yeah, you should, even if you're with the same
4
person, get
years,
tested.
yeah.
And here's why. Because one of my friends was with a boyfriend for 2 years, and he lied to her, and she got tested and found out she had chlamydia, gonorrhea, and herpes all in the same test.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. And he lied, and then she went through his phone and found emails. Of a herpes dating website before they dated, because he tried to say, oh, no, like, I didn't know. No, you were on a herpes website trying to find people who have it, and lied to this poor girl and gave her herpes. Yeah.
Damn. What can't you live without?
My cats.
Yeah. I would say the same.
My cats. Oh. When Lola went missing, I literally was like, it was like losing a child.
We lost Lola.
For 15 hours.
Whole hours.
In East Boston.
And we found her 2 houses down, curled up. Some people had given her like something to lay on.
It was
I think.
freezing too. It was cold. It was not warm.
It was like a month ago, but it was still cold in Boston. Oh, the poor baby.
What's the craziest place you've had sex?
Probably like on a pier.
I made an igloo once, and then we had sex in the igloo.
Interesting. Was it warm?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just bent me over, and then we were like, "You want to go eat?" And we went in and ate dinner with his mom.
I love that.
Mhm.
I love that for you. What was your favorite video game growing up?
I'm such a nerd. It was this thing called Dark Alliance Boulder's Gate, and I don't know why I was obsessed with it. If the real video game nerds will know what that is. I literally brought that game in to GameStop when I was like bringing in all my PS2 games, and they were like, "You played this?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, like, that game's worth a lot." And then I showed them another one like Gauntlet, and they were like, "Wow, you play this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I had a bowl cut. Leave me alone."
Oh my god. R.I.P. that pussy.
Hey. Should we end it there?
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was episode 4. It was a little like, I don't even know, educational, all over the place.
We'll figure out how when we edit this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. What if I was Sue the Slido? What if that was my last straw?
I know. Oh God, we are addicted to TikTok references. So next week's episode, we actually have a guest.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're really excited.
Yeah.
So make sure that you tune into that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a great
Check
episode.
us out.
Yeah, we're also gonna be on her podcast.
So also check that one out. We'll link everything below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. It's the first week of May. I can't believe this year has already gone by so much. But yeah.
I hope you get stoned for us because we're not high enough.
I know.
We're not high.
Do you want to go get high?
Yeah, let's go smoke.
All right. Later.
It's been real. Oh my god, my hip just popped so bad. Okay, so Oh, whoops. Wow. That was a lot.
Bedtime.
That was a lot.